Thank you for tuning in to Chompin at the Bit. This is episode 29. This episode, we take a look back at week 6, do a recap of what I witnessed. We're going to... so last episode I talked about, the segment I'd been thinking about where, go for a couple minutes and just, I guess, speak my mind or just vent about something that I watched in the sports world. I said I was going to wait some days, maybe even next week, but I decided to do that this episode, so I'm going to debut that. I would have waited, but the team that, I'm going to vent about, I couldn't wait another week, so hope you have fun with that. Stay tuned. And then after that, just kind of broad observations from the weekend in football that I noticed. And then, of course, we have to end the episode reviewing my week 6 picks, see how well I did. So with that, let's get it kicked off. So the Jets, I'm sure most of you have seen them play, but what I've noticed is an absolute joke in the NFL. How one team can look that bad baffles me. Like, just put on, you know what? If you haven't watched them play, go to YouTube, hit up like the NFL channel, check out one of the highlights of their games, and then you'll understand what I'm talking about here. So do you realize that in a league where scoring is off the charts, the Jets only average 12.5 points a game? How is that possible? Defensively, at least they're following the trend because they're giving up 31 points a game. So, with scoring up, sure. But 12.5 points, you're getting outscored by over over 2 touchdowns a game. How? How is that possible in the NFL? You look at the quarterback position. They started with Darnold. Darnold's been hurt because he had no weapons and the offensive line's terrible. He got hurt. They brought in they reanimated Joe Flacco, brought him out there. Now, if you haven't seen Joe Flacco play, Joe Flacco hasn't been a good NFL quarterback in I don't know how long. I guess that Super Bowl year with Baltimore, which now looking at his career, clearly was a joke. He's been to Denver since then. Denver couldn't run him out of town fast enough. He was a backup in Baltimore before he ultimately went to Denver. Now he's backup with the Jets, only playing because Darnold got hurt. At least Darnold's young, and there's still growing there. But Flacco is what Flacco is. Not that good. So between the two of them, 56% completion percentage. Once again, today's NFL, terrible. 56% might get you in the Hall of Fame back in Joe Namath's day, but today, quarterbacks are supposed to be, I believe it's 65% to be considered decent. Okay, 65 might be a little high, but you have to be at least 60%. Now, if you're looking at the quarterbacks, naturally you have to look at the offensive system. Naturally, you look towards the head coach. Adam Gase got this job because he was supposed to be the quarterback whisperer or some crap like that, which was a complete lie, because when he was in Miami, he was 23 and 25 as a coach. The Jets would take that at this point because he's actually 7 and 15 as the Jets head coach. I don't understand why he still has a job. Jet fans, if any of you are listening, maybe you could tell me, because I have no clue. I thought once Atlanta got rid of Dan Quinn, Houston got rid of Bill O'Brien, maybe the Jets would wake up. Was it Woody Johnson's the owner? Maybe he would have gotten up one day and been like, you know what? Everybody else is firing the coaches who aren't performing. I've had a coach who hasn't performed for the 2 years he's been with the Jets. Let's get rid of him. And if they do get rid of him, they might as well get rid of Greg Williams too, because I don't even know how he's a defensive coordinator coordinator in the NFL anyway. He had the Bounty Gate scandal when he was the Saints defensive coordinator. I think he had some thing when he was with the Redskins. Well, formerly Redskins. They're now the Washington football team. But so they can't fire Gase, promote Greg Williams, because that's like, same book, different chapter, two guys just not cutting it. And then back with Gase, it seems like when he leaves teams, that's when players actually get better. As weird as that seems, he was in Miami, middle of the road. Ryan Tannehill is his quarterback. Everybody thought Tannehill was a bust. Have you seen Tannehill in Tennessee? Looks pretty good. He had, was it Devontae Parker? Looked like a bust when Gase was there. Now you watch the Dolphins play, Parker is a pretty good wide receiver. And it just keeps going from there. So I wouldn't be surprised if they got rid of Gase in New York and Darnold became an all-pro. Well, probably not, because the Jets have shown even before Gase, the Jets have been in trouble. But at least with Todd Bowles was their coach, the team played hard. Defensively, Bowles had his defense playing well. They kept the team in games, just that the offense wasn't that good. They couldn't get over the hump and win a lot. I mean, for the Jets, I'm sure they'd rather take that than what they're getting right now. And me, being a Patriot fan, I remember Patriots-Jets, great rivalry in the AFC East, even when, look back to like Belichick versus Rex Ryan. Rex Ryan with, his loudmouth self, adding intrigue into those matchups. Belichick just being Belichick. And, you got the game where Rex Ryan brought his team into Foxborough, beat the Patriots in the playoffs. Bart Scott went off after the game talking about, can't wait, they can't stop a paperback, stuff like that. It's good stuff. Even before that, you had Pete Carroll going up against Bill Parcells. Then I think Belichick went up against Parcells as well, but those were great games also. Patriots had Curtis Martin with Bill Parcells. Bill Parcells leaves New England, goes to the Jets, brings Curtis Martin over there, uses Curtis Martin against the Patriots, kills them for a few years. It was great to watch. Now, every Jet game, complete blowout. I mean, if you want like guaranteed money, you would put it on whoever the Jets are playing, because it's guaranteed that they're probably going to destroy them. So I don't know where the Jets go from here. It kind of seems like Gase might finish the year for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe they shock me. They're waiting for the bye. Who knows? I wouldn't have waited. I'd have gotten rid of him like 2 weeks into the year or something when it looked like the team was going to be terrible. And I'm just waiting for the reports to come out of New York of players, wanting to get out, not happy, all that kind of stuff. That's the only thing that needs to come out. Maybe it has, and just nobody cares about the Jets right now. So, and to put the cherry on top, the Jets are the last winless team in the league. Last Sunday, I think it was a couple of winless teams got their win. The Jets still winless, looking like no hope for a win anytime soon. They just got blown out by Miami. They've been beaten by the Cardinals, teams like that. Like, looking ahead for the Jets, they have to play Buffalo. They have the Chiefs. They got the Patriots on what's that? They got a Monday night game against the Patriots. How they swung that, it's probably more Patriots than Jets, but that's crazy to me. Then even past that, it's like Chargers aren't that good, but they're like 1,000% better than the Jets. And just keeps going down the line. And I'm telling you, the Jets are probably going to go 0-16, which wouldn't that be fitting? And I don't know what they're going to do. I have no idea. Their top running back is Frank Gore. Frank Gore is like 48 years old. I mean, he's only like 38, but for running back, he might as well be 50. He's probably the best offensive player they have right now. So, I don't know. I don't get it. And even looking at that, like New York football in general is terrible. Well, actually, I can't say that because, you have Buffalo, but I guess New York City with the Jets and the Giants, both teams are terrible. But it seems like the Giants have a lot more going for them than the Jets. And the Giants have, one win? But yeah, so I guess that's all I gotta say about the Jets. Maybe get lucky and they get banished from the league or something. I don't know. It's not gonna happen, but yeah. So that was me just going off on the Jets because the sad thing is I'm not even a Jets fan, and watching them just makes me want to lose my hair. But on to other stuff that happened over the weekend. I mentioned in the Jets rant, Falcons got their first win. So, how about that? And they, Julio Jones, 2 touchdowns as well. It's been a while since Julio got into the end zone. And, it was the Vikings. The Vikings look, I don't know what's going on there. Kirk Cousins is terrible. I mean, to see where he's come from, when he was with the Redskins, won a couple of games, had that moment after the game talking about you like that, turned that into the Viking job, had decent success last year, but this year that team is just, I mean, they don't have Dalvin Cook, so I guess you have to give him that because Dalvin Cook is a big part of their offense. With him running the ball makes it easier on Cousins because we can clearly see that if Cousins has to make all the plays with his arm, he's not that guy. That's not him. So, but yeah, Julio, 2 touchdowns. He had that one play, which was, I don't know what was going on with the Vikings defense, but, Ryan rolled out to the left, looked like he was going to run for it. For some reason, the corner who was covering Julio stepped up, I guess, to stop Matt Ryan and just let Julio run past him. I mean, what's he been watching? Matt Ryan isn't Mike Vick. If you have a linebacker in pursuit of Matt Ryan, they'll usually catch him. For some reason, the corner felt like he needed to step up to stop the run, and he just lofted it over his head. Julio made the catch, ran down the sideline. So, 2 touchdowns for him. It was Raheem Morris's first game as the head coach of the Falcons, and you saw a noticeable difference on TV. The team, Julio played. He sat out, the last couple of games? Quinn's last games with the hamstring injury. This game, he was out there from the jump. Looked fine to me. Not saying he was faking an injury or anything. I'm not saying that, but I might be saying that. But it was just interesting to see. Raheem Morris is there. No questions about it. Julio played. Matt Ryan, big day throwing the ball. Defense actually created some turnovers. Was it AJ Terrell had that crazy interception between his legs? I still am not sure how he kept that ball off the turf, but more props to him. The play calling seemed different. They ran some reverses with Ridley and play calling just looked different. The team had an extra bounce to their step. Like I said, Matt Ryan scrambled for for a couple of first downs in the game. When was the last time you've seen him do that? So, You know what? For game one for Raheem Morris, definitely gets A from me. And the Falcons have actually hit a spot in their schedule where the next like 3 games or so are very winnable, so they can turn that 0-5 start into 4-5, maybe even get back to 500 at 5-5. They have the Saints game that's a few weeks down the line. I guess that's gonna be their first test, but as you've heard me say before in here, the Saints have their own issues because Drew Brees looks every bit of, 39, 40 years old. He looks every ounce of that. So, the Falcon season may not actually be over as we once thought. Put it this way. If they played in the NFC East, they'd be a divisional threat. I mean, stop knocking down the NFC East. But yeah, so definitely watch the Falcons next couple of weeks. They can run a string of 3-4 games in a row with W's. I mean, they can kind of hit the reset button on the season and go from there. Speaking of the NFC East, how about them Cowboys? That's for all you Dallas Cowboy fans. I mean, however many of you there are left. No, I'm just kidding. There's always Cowboy fans everywhere. But did you watch that game against the Cardinals Monday night? And yeah, Cowboys are a complete mess. My worry is Mike McCarthy's going to get blamed for a lot of this, which I think is crazy to me. It's his first year there. He had that success with Green Bay, Sure, the Cowboys don't have Aaron Rodgers, but once again, if you went on like NFL.com, ESPN.com or whatever, pulled up the Cowboys roster, you'd look through there and be like, some names on here. Why is the team as bad as it is? I'll tell you why. One, Andy Dalton had to throw the ball 54 times. When have the Cowboys ever been successful playing like that? Even with Dak Prescott. Would you want Dak Prescott throwing the ball 54 times? No. Because I'll tell you what, you're not winning many games that way. But why did Andy Dalton have to throw the ball 54 times? Well, one, the defense can't stop anybody. I mean, I could roll up there with, me and 10 other people play offense, probably get 21 points off of them. But Zeke Elliott, what has happened to this guy? Now all of a sudden, he can't even hold on to the football. I swear, every Cowboys game I've seen, he's fumbled at least once, sometimes twice, and I don't get it. This is the guy who was like 2 years ago or something. Everyone was talking about best running back in the league. I mean, I didn't think it then because all of his yards didn't really equate to meaningful wins, but he's definitely much better than this. I mean, now he just looks like a guy who is kind of disinterested with what's going on down there. Maybe some of the players, once Prescott got hurt, maybe they came to the realization that the team's no good, even though they were no good with Dak, but at least they could believe in Dak more than Dalton, because Dalton was making some passes last night that were just ridiculous. It was like his first pass of the game, he threw literally right to the Arizona linebacker. Lucky for Dalton, the linebacker couldn't catch, but I didn't know what he read in the defense or which receiver he was even throwing to, because it seemed like the nearest receiver, he underthrew them by like 6-7 yards. So, but like I said before, with all of that, the Cowboys are 2-4 and they lead the NFC East. If the team wins the NFC East and they get to 7 wins at this point, I'm going to be surprised. And you're going to tell me that if it, like, let's say a team wins that division 6-10, or you know what? Maybe the Eagles win it at 6-9-1. And they're going to get awarded a home playoff game in the first round of the playoffs. I think that's an absolute joke. The NFL should look into that rule for situations like this. So let's say, let's throw out a team. How about Tampa Bay? Let's say Tampa Bay is the wild card team in the AFC, and they get matched up with the Cowboys. And let's say the Bucks, are like 11-5. The fact that an 11-5 team would have to travel to a 6-9-1 or 6-10 team to go on the road for a playoff game seems ridiculous to me. I don't see why the NFL can't adopt. I think the NBA went to that switch. It was like 3-4 years ago where, you win your division, you are, like a top seeded team, at least top 4. But that doesn't guarantee you. I think they still do get a home playoff series. But at least in the NBA, it used to be, 1, 2, 3 automatically to the division winners. They stopped that. So now the third division winner can actually finish 4th in the conference standings. Then that way they still have a harder road to the conference finals or whatever. I think the NFL should probably use that system or completely take the home game away from them. I mean, some people say, well, that's not fair. They won their division. I don't care. If you're a 6-win division winner, what business do you, even a 7-win division winner, what business do you have hosting a playoff game? And it's not like that division is murderer's row, because every team in that division is trash. But yeah, so I guess focusing more on the Cowboys here. So like I said, Dalton threw 54 times. Do you know how many passes Kyler Murray attempted or completed? 9. And the Cardinals destroyed the Cowboys. It was 38-10. DeAndre Hopkins for 3 quarters, he only had 1 catch, 13 yards. Everybody was like, "Oh, what's going on there?" And then with 1 play, he exploded on a little, I think it was like a little 9-10 yard out that Kyler hit Hopkins in stride. Then Hopkins took it the rest of the way, got tackled down around the 6 or 7 yard line. But the Cardinals just could do whatever they wanted. They ran for over 200 yards, only because Kyler Murray was a little erratic with his passes that he didn't complete more. But they didn't. Any pressure the Cowboys were able to get on Kyler Murray, he slipped out of it with no problem and torched the defense with his legs. Weird fact: he's now Kyler Murray I'm talking about here. He's 6-0 in that stadium from high school to his time in college at Oklahoma, and now as a Cardinal quarterback. But yeah, Cowboys are in trouble. Luckily, because of their division, they're still in it. But all that preseason, well, there wasn't a preseason, but before the season, all that talk of the Cowboys being a legitimate Super Bowl team, you could have thrown that out the window weeks ago. But now you can, go outside, throw that, prediction in a barrel and light it on fire, because there's no chance of this team doing anything in the playoffs. There's actually some doubt they may even make the playoffs. Who knows? If the Eagles get some bodies back, maybe they win that division. I don't know, but yeah, the Cowboys are a complete mess. Makes me smile only because I can't stand them being called America's team when they haven't done anything in 25 years. And yeah, so there you go, Cowboys. Have fun with that. Continue to watch that every week. And that's another observation. The Buffalo Bills. So when the Buffalo Bills are 4-0, and they were leading the division by like a game and a half, 2 games. I think people were ready to give them the division and say, well, clearly they're going to take over with Brady not in New England anymore. But if you've watched the Bills the past couple of games, they are crashing back to earth pretty hard. So that game against the Chiefs Monday, I mean, I know the score was only 26-17, but if you watch the game, it wasn't even that close. The Chiefs could do whatever they want. Buffalo's offense is basically Stephon Diggs only. Josh Allen, his play has taken a huge step back. Early in the season, he was seen as an MVP candidate. I think I even said that on here. But now, yeah, you can forget that too. I don't care what he does the rest of the way. He's not getting back into the MVP conversation. But yeah, so 26-17 against the Chiefs. They looked like they didn't belong on the field. Then, of course, the game before that with the Titans, after the Titans had spent 2 weeks away from their facility, couldn't practice anything. They got demolished in that game. We remember that game with the whole Derrick Henry stiff-arming Josh Norman into orbit. I mean, I saw him on the field against the Chiefs, so I guess he's okay. But yeah. So yeah, that's 2 games where they've been embarrassed. And then even look before the Raider game. Remember that Rams game where they were up 28 to, I think it was like 28-3. Then the Rams made that comeback to go up 32-28. And then Josh Allen led them down the field for the game-winning touchdown. So even looking at that game, I mean, the Bills are lucky to be 4-2. They could easily be, I mean, if you lose that one, then you're 3-3. Before that, they narrowly got by the Dolphins 31-28. So they're definitely a fraudulent 4-2. They're a fraudulent division leader right now. And like, don't look now, but the Dolphins have gotten to 3-3. Only a game behind them. The Dolphins made that switch to Tua, which I love them for doing that. I think it was week 2 or so. I said, when are we going to see Tua? I get it. You know, Fitzpatrick has looked decent these first few weeks, but the Dolphins aren't winning a Super Bowl this year. You drafted Tua high. You might as well put him out there, see what he's got, what he can do with this team. You know, sure, maybe they fall off and they don't make the playoffs, while Fitzpatrick could have gotten them there. But at least you're going to get some good experience for Tua. You know, have him, you know, put him on the Kyler Murray plan. Both guys are shorter in stature. They both can use their legs. They both have decent arms. So, you know, these, what are they, 3-3? So these 10 games right now, granted that Tua stays healthy, it's going to do wonders for him come next year. So yeah, so shout out to Miami for doing that. Love that move. You know, wish more teams would do that. The Chargers did the same thing with Herbert. I mean, they haven't won many games this year, but Herbert looks like he belongs. So, it's, you know, some of these teams, if you're going to draft young quarterbacks high, you might as well put them out there. Let them show what they have. Get their, you know, get their lumps, you know, get their bad throws out of the way. Let them learn the speed of the game and just give them some experience. It's not that difficult. Your fan base will love you for it because it gives them something to cheer for. Now, if they go out there and look like they're a complete mess and they stink it up, fine, you can do whatever at that point, but just throw them out there and give them a shot. Because, you know, sure, Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre for 3 years, whatever, came in, was pretty good. Not every quarterback's that way. Not every fan base is Green Bay either. Green Bay can kind of stand for a lot. So yeah. Shout out to Miami with that. Buffalo, like I said, frauds at 4-2. I mean, you remember last week I did not put them in my top 10, even though they were 4-1, because I recognized a lot in that Tennessee game that told me they weren't that good of a team. And now the Chiefs went in there and beat them. Sure, the Chiefs are the reigning Super Bowl champions, but something is off in Buffalo. I can't put my finger on it. I mean, I think it's more, I guess they have to get Josh Allen back to playing how he was earlier in the season. I think Josh Allen needs to use his legs more. Offensively, like I said, Stephon Diggs is like their only pass catching threat. So I'd like to see them develop a second person or even a tight end that Josh Allen can rely on, something. But yeah, the way that this is going, the Patriots are 2-3, but I'm sure, for me watching the Patriots, I see that, last week, I'm not going to put too much stock in that. They hadn't played a couple of weeks. They hadn't practiced in forever. Cam was coming back from testing positive for the coronavirus. So I'm throwing that game out the window. But, you're looking at this coming week, the Patriots play San Francisco. Said they get that win. They're at 3-3. Buffalo drops another game to 4-3. And then that's, little lead that Buffalo would have had. It's going to be completely gone at that point. And then you tell me who you trust moving forward. You have Cam Newton, who, we've seen so far this season with the 2 wins and even the 2 losses before last week to Denver. The teams played well. They were in every game. Well, the 2 they won, they clearly were in the game. But the 2 losses, they lost to the Seahawks, 1 yard line, and then lost to, who they lose to? Oh my God, who they lose? The Chiefs. When Cam tested positive, and then they had to fly out the same day, play that night, which any team in that situation would look bad. So I would trust New England going forward over Buffalo because I've seen Belichick take teams that don't seem as talented as others and still get them far, at least to the playoffs. When have we seen Buffalo with any success? So, even Miami's a team that I think I said in my preview that they're a team looking at their schedule and depending on how Tua came along and how Fitzpatrick played early in the year, they could slip in, be sneaky 8-8. And, depending on where other teams are in the AFC, they could be fighting for a playoff spot. So, Buffalo, better get your stuff together now. Otherwise, Miami and New England could pass you by year's end. I'm just throwing that out there right now. So yeah, those are my, main observations from the week. Some other things I noticed, but I think those are the big ones. And, but yeah, so now to that point, sure you've been waiting for. Week 6 picks. See if, see how well I did. See if I made you some money. I don't know. So, recap. Last week, went 4-2. Had a good week. 16-13 overall. As I say all the time, trying to get to 60% by the end of the year. I'm at 55, 56% right now. And for those of you, new to the program, I picked the Thursday night football game, the Falcons game, Patriots game, Sunday night, Monday night. I picked those 5 games at least every week. Of course, Falcons or Patriots on the bye, then it might only be 5 games. But past few weeks I have been doing 6 games. I did 6 again this week. I don't just pick the winner of the game. I pick it against the spread. And, quick little teaching moment. If you don't understand the spread, so when I give a line and I say like Falcons -3. So if you're minus whatever number, that means you're the favorite in the game and you have to win by at least that number. If you win and are under that number, it counts as a loss against the spread. Win above that number is clearly a win. Now, on the other hand, if you're like +3, that means you're a 3-point underdog, so you're expected to lose. But as long as you lose by 3 points or less, it counts as a win against the spread. 3 or more, you lose against the spread. Hopefully that made sense, but let's just go ahead with my picks and you'll probably pick up a little bit on it. So first game was I took the Vikings as a 3.5-point favorite over the Falcons. You know, I was going off the whole transition team. You know, maybe they come out a little flat for their new coach, blah, blah, blah. As I said before, the Falcons got their first win, 40-23. They looked great in the game, so that was a loss for me. But okay, so starting off 0-1. Then next game, I took the Patriots as an 8.5-point favorite over the Broncos. And that game, I took the 2 weeks off. I underestimated that. Cam struggled. The offense struggled. The defense actually played well because they gave up only 18 points. And Denver was in the red zone a few times and could only settle for field goals. So, like I said, I'm expecting Patriots to bounce back, but it's a good win for the Broncos. Like I said, they won 18-12. Patriots 8.5-point favorite, so that's another loss for me. So 0-2. Next game. Now this is a game I did say I was a little worried about, but I took the Jaguars as a 3.5-point underdog against the Lions. The Lions surprised me and blew them out 34-16. So that's yet another loss. So now 0-3 so far. A little worried. 3 more picks to go. Fourth game, I took the Rams over the 49ers. 49ers were a 3.5-point underdog. So yeah, also, when I say the team and the plus or minus whatever, that means they were the home team. They always attach the scoring line to the home team. So just a secondary point on that. So I took the Rams to beat the 49ers. 49ers plus 3.5. 49ers won the game 24-16. Another loss. So now 0-4 in the week, which means I'm definitely going to be under 500 for the week, and it'll be my first week since week 2. So clearly that streak's over, but 2 more picks. Hopefully I can rebound a little. So I took the Chiefs over the Bills. Now the Bills were a 3.5-point underdog. So me taking the Chiefs means the Chiefs had to win by more than 3.5 points in order for me to get the win. Chiefs did win 26-17. So that is a win for you, boy. And so 1-4 on the week, 1 pick left. This one was a no-brainer to me. I took the Cardinals over the Cowboys. Cowboys are a 2.5-point underdog. And as I spoke about before, Cardinals destroyed them 38-10. That's a win. So, to recap the picks, I lost my Vikings over the Falcons pick, lost my Patriots over the Broncos pick, lost my Jaguars over the Lions pick, and lost my Rams over the 49ers pick. But I did win Chiefs over Bills and Cardinals over Cowboys. So I went 2-4 this week. That's a loss for the week. I'll take that. So that takes my overall record to 18-17. So I've moved back down towards 500, but it's okay. I'm not below 500. So another good week next week. I can be right back up there, getting closer to 60%. I will get to 60 by the end of the season. I'm guaranteeing it. So don't worry. This is one bad week. You know, everybody slips up now and again. So yeah, 2-4. That sucks, but still over 500. There's your silver lining right there. I'm 1 game over 500 on the year. And so yeah, so with that, thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed my little vent session to start this episode off. I know I did. I may do one every episode. I'm sure I can find something that makes me scratch my head in the sports world. So, yeah, so if you're new here, hope you liked the episode. Definitely like, subscribe, follow. I'm on most of the major podcasting platforms, except for Audible. So I said in the last episode, I'm working towards that. And then I did realize I haven't really promoted the YouTube channel. So if some of you prefer listening to this on YouTube, there is a channel. You just look up my name, Kyle Edwards, which is in the logo of the podcast. Go to the YouTube channel. All my episodes are there as well. So feel free to go over there and subscribe as well. Those of you who've been with me, appreciate you as well. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. Let me know what you like, what you don't like. But thanks again. And be safe out there. And, definitely catch you the next episode. Which, looking down the line, college football talks coming. Gave you my World Series prediction, so we will have to look in on that, see how that's going, as well as just some other topics I got ready to go, some more basketball stuff. Since we're in the off season, we'll be looking at the free agency coming up, possible trades, coaching hires, all that good stuff. So trust me, plenty of episodes to come, and I hope you are ready for them. So, like I said, thank you again. Thank you one more time. Be safe again, and catch you in the next episode. All right.